This is Vinyl 4. We are back with another episode. This is round 6.
Wow.
Craig, are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do
I'm so
this.
fired up. We started doing this new thing where we were announcing, and we'll do it at the end of this episode. We're announcing all the matchups at the end of each episode for the upcoming week. Gives us an opportunity to think about it, gives our listeners an opportunity to debate in their own minds or with their friends, think about how they would pick. And I think it makes it a lot more fun that
Oh,
way.
absolutely. Yeah. Agreed.
It gives me an opportunity to go research a little bit, quite frankly, because I want to go back and listen to these. It's a great excuse to listen to some of these records. Some of my matchups, there might be an album that I just haven't given a fair enough shake to.
Sure.
Before we're going to jump right in, but before we do, I will just recap, Craig, our final 4 from last week.
Okay.
U2 War, Ray Charles Birth of Soul, Elton John Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and Carole King Tapestry. Solid Vinyl 4.
Yeah, those are not too shabby.
Not too shabby. Let's jump right in. I'm going first this week, which means I get all of the odd and you get the even, but that also means I get the first pick in our redemption round.
Okay.
So I'm ready.
All right. So your first two selections are, and the rank is 190 versus 496. 190 is Elvis Presley from Elvis in Memphis, and 496 is Bonnie Raitt's Give It Up.
Yeah, this is going to be easy for me. It's Elvis.
Yeah.
It pretty cool time period. Only the strong survive. Oh my gosh, I love that song so much. And I I dig the fact that Elvis was kind of making a comeback. He'd been the biggest star in the world and then
Yeah.
was fading and then coming back. And I just think it's a super cool time period for him. Yeah, I'm Elvis all the way on that one.
Awesome. All right. What you
Yeah.
got for me?
Well, I'll tell you what I got for you, Craig. I have a couple of bangers here. Number 34, the band Music from Big Pink, which is,
Okay.
of course, their debut record,
Yep.
versus the Carpenters, Close to You. The band comes in at number 34 on the Rolling Stone, the Carpenters at 175. What say you?
You know, I think at one point there would be no question that it would be the band, but I have really come to love the Carpenters over the last several years. I love Karen Carpenter's voice. Man, butter, pure butter. But I got to go with the band on this. Music from Big Pink. It's not my favorite band album, but it's awesome. So I'm going to go with 34, the band, Music from Big Pink.
I agree with you. It's not my favorite record. We know that later in this episode we're going to get to a really great record by the band. It's funny that randomly picked the band came up twice.
Yeah,
So we'll talk about that more in a minute,
for
but
sure.
can't blame you there. Okay.
All right, you got some high numbers here too. It's funny how this shuffle, it's a little flawed, but anyway, 498, the White Stripes, White Blood Cells, versus 418, U2, Boy.
Yeah. Man, I am such a big fan of Jack White, the White Stripes. They opened a new era up. I feel like that sound, what he and Meg did. Then of course you have the Black Keys and others that I'm not saying copied, but followed suit. And I really have a lot of respect for that. But U2, early U2 for me, that lead off with I Will Follow and then Twilight right after that.
That's
Oh
awesome.
my gosh. And Electric Co is on there. I just Stories for Boys. What a great debut record. And it's not anywhere near their best record. I mean, we talked last week about
Yeah,
War, October, The Unforgettable Fire, Joshua Tree. This album might be their fifth or sixth best record, but U2's fifth or sixth best record is still good enough to make it through this round.
they never sounded like that ever again, and it might not be in their top 3. It's definitely top 3 for me, but it's one of my favorite records for sure.
I
Because
love it.
I love the sound, I love the eeriness of the production. I just love that record. But you're right, even they have said, "Oh, we weren't even close." So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, that was an easy choice for me.
Yep.
Sorry, Jack. Love you, dude. Okay. For you, oh man, this is a cool matchup. Number 321, Radiohead Amnesiac
Yep.
versus 471, LL Cool J. Ladies love Cool James, right? Isn't that what it stands for?
Yeah, man.
LL Cool J, Radio.
All right, so this will come as a shock to some people, but there's really no comparison here. I don't get me wrong, I love Amnesiac. I do feel like it's Kid A B-sides, even though it's not. I still like it. I still like it a lot. But come on, LL Cool J's Radio is an iconic hip hop album. I have to go with LL. I feel like that to me was one of the albums that set the stage for hip hop. There was definitely things that were happening prior to that for sure, but that was a huge, huge album, and it's still cool to this day. So I got to go with LL Radio.
Man, his early stuff was just killer.
Absolutely.
Rock the Rock the Bells might be my favorite hip hop song of the '80s.
Yeah.
I mean, just his swagger, the just the intensity of that song laid the groundwork. It's so good. I mean, I heard Eminem did a version of it. He covered it.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome. I mean, that
Nice.
song will never get old. There's just certain songs that will never even the production, if you listen to it now, it's what, 40 years old, which is hard to believe.
Yeah.
That song will never age. 100 years from now, people are still gonna say, "That's a badass song."
Absolutely. And it
Yeah.
he well, anyway, even if you go to some of his subsequent albums with, like, Mama Said Knock You Out, and I really liked Walking with a Panther. I loved LL, and it doesn't hurt that my wife has a major crush on him. She watched, what was it, whatever the TV show, one of the
Oh, yeah.
CSI, and I can't even remember the name of it. It's LA, whatever, NCIS, Los Angeles. She loved it just because of him, and I go, I get it, man. He's cool. He's just
He's
cool.
a he's a cool dude, and I love his the follow-up album, Bigger and Deffer, and
Bigger,
it starts out great with
great.
I'm Bad.
Yep.
That's just incredible. Alright, I'm ready.
All right, you have quite the matchup here, man, and one of these is going to be eliminated, and I will pick it up. So I'm just telling you. You have 200, which is AC/DC's Highway to Hell, versus 45, the band, self-titled The Band album.
No drama here. The Band is one of my favorite records of all time. I think it's the greatest Americana album ever made. It's their
Yep.
second album, which was kinda interesting because usually the self-titled would be the debut record. It's the second album we mentioned earlier, Music from Big Pink. Music from Big Pink is really good, but it doesn't come close to this album. This is when the sound was fully realized, and the band would never be better than this. I love the live stuff they did. I love The Last Waltz, but this record, I tell people all the time, Up on Cripple Creek, which is a song that most people would know
Yep.
off of this album, might be my least favorite song on the whole record.
And it's a banger.
It's a banger. It is a flawless record. That is one of those that you absolutely, and I'll say this to anyone listening who maybe you're more of a singles person, do not cheat yourself here. Start it in the beginning and go all the way to the end, and you won't be sorry. So
Yeah.
I'm going the band all day long. So
Excellent album.
AC/DC will be available.
I will scarf it up, I'm just telling you.
All
Okay,
right.
what you got for me?
Yeah, and by the way, it was really tough. Kev, if you're listening, really tough to go against that, but that's a tough matchup. All right. For you, Craig, number 467, Coldplay, A Rush of Blood to the Head versus 237, Jackie Wilson, Mr. Excitement.
Okay, so I definitely have more affiliation, more connection to I was a big Coldplay guy. My claim to fame here, and the only one person can attest to this because he was a coworker of mine. We were both corporate recruiters. We're sitting in the parking lot, and I played in Parachutes, and I had an import copy of that album, and I told him this is the next U2. Um, and at the
You're right.
time, Yellow had not even been released, the single, um, and so I was obsessed with that album. And then this album just threw me for a loop because I was like, man, God, they got better. Somehow they've gotten. It's not my favorite album from them, but a huge, huge connection to it. But I'm gonna go with Jackie Wilson, Mr. Excitement, be-
Wow.
because Jackie Wilson is one of those artists that over time to me, I just have a little bit more of a connection to. I'm more into soul than I am, and part of this too, Shawn, is Coldplay's just tainted to me a little bit
Yeah.
now. This didn't have the impact that Parachutes did for me because I already knew them, and by the time that was released, everybody knew who they were, right? So it was a big stepping stone for them. But for me, I feel like the Jackie Wilson is something that people are going to lose that over time. They're not going to remember his name, and they should. And Coldplay keeps putting out stuff. It's not good, but they keep putting out stuff. So I'm gonna go with Jackie Wilson, Mr. Excitement.
Yeah, I love early Coldplay parachutes. Like you said, Jackie Wilson is a national treasure. And for anyone that doesn't, if everyone knows Your Love Is Lifting Me Higher. It's one of the greatest songs ever recorded. I don't care if
Absolutely.
you like heavy metal, punk, whatever you like, go listen to that song. But then Lonely Teardrops, You
Lonely
Got Me
Teardrops.
Knocking.
Yep. Yep.
Whew. I mean, bangers, this guy. And I will say this about Jackie Wilson, we'll move on to my selection, but a lot of people don't realize he was a boxer, he was a great dancer, he's
Yeah.
a really good-looking guy, and he died a very early tragic death and spent the last few years of his life really alone in a hospital. I mean, this guy, such a talent. I don't like his early stuff as much as the mid to later stuff, but
Yeah.
I've got his box set. I'm a huge Jackie. I would have scarfed that up if you didn't take it.
Renaissance man, absolute Renaissance man. Love
Yeah,
this. Love, like I said, a national treasure. It's amazing.
yeah.
All right, you've got an interesting matchup here. I know where you're gonna go, but these are two great, equally great albums. This is Pearl Jam 10, which came in at 209, versus Tom Waits' Rain Dogs from number 400. So no question.
I'm just gonna get right to the point here, Craig.
I know.
It's Pearl Jam 10 all day for me. It's such a great debut record.
Excellent.
It was a game changer. Anyone in our age category, you remember when you heard Pearl Jam,
Yep.
everyone talked about Pearl Jam when they came out. But this album was just it's a perfect record. I can't believe that it's ranked that far back, honestly. I really can't. I would have guessed top 100. Like 95 to 120, somewhere around there. I can't believe it was low 200s, but yeah, I'm Pearl Jam all day.
Yeah. That's no question for me too. I agree with you there. Rain Dogs is
Yeah.
phenomenal though. Okay, what you got for me? This is our last pick too, right?
This is the last one. Number 341, Black Flag. Mr. Henry Rollins. Album is called Damaged versus number 31, Mr. Bob Dylan, Bringing It All Back Home.
More Bob Dylan, man. Um, I just cut to the chase, just like you. I'm definitely going Bob Dylan with "Bringing It All Back Home." Man, I love Henry Rollins as a person. You want to talk about one of the most interesting, one of the most intellectually, just the guy is just real. He's incredibly intelligent. I would rather listen to his spoken word, his poetry, than I would his music. I just I wanna be cool and but I never really liked. I was more of a Fugazi fan than I was a Minor Threat guy, and I was really more of a Rollins Band fan than I was a Black Flag fan, and I know that's not cool. I love you, Henry. I think you were one of the coolest people on the planet, but it's Bob Dylan. It's Bring It All Back Home too, so I gotta go with Bringing It All Back Home.
Yeah. I I was smiling, kinda laughing just because when I think of Henry Rollins, I think of that Beavis and Butthead episode where he's like, "Look at his neck."
Yeah,
Because Henry Rollins had this huge he's so, muscular,
yeah.
and they're watching a video of him, and they're talking about how big his neck is. I mean, he was a massive dude. I don't know if he's still I think he still looks like that, doesn't he? He's got,
He
like, that wrestler's upper
he's
body.
very fit. He's definitely
Yeah,
toned down a bit, but he's very fit. I mean,
yeah.
he's all about nurturing the body both physically, mentally. He's a cool, very, very engaging, very interesting dude. Very thought provoking. Love that guy.
Well, we made it through. Now we got to go back and we got to think about our choices. I'm going to quickly rattle off the choices so far. So
Okay.
here are the 8 that we've selected. That's I'll give mine first. Elvis Presley from Elvis in Memphis, U2 Boy, The Band, and Pearl Jam 10.
Okay.
Your choices. You do your choices. You want to call yours out?
Yeah. So my choices so far are The Band, music from Big Pink, LL Cool J, Radio. Then I had Jackie Wilson, Mr. Excitement, and then Bob Dylan's Bringing It All Back Home.
All right. Now for our redemption round, and for those who are listening for the first time, and as a reminder to everyone else, we get one shot to take something off of our 4 and pick up something, a castaway.
Yep.
The castaways, the 8 that didn't make it so far: Bonnie Raitt, Give It Up; The Carpenters, Close to You; White Stripes, White Blood Cells; Radiohead, Amnesiac; AC/DC, Highway to Hell; Coldplay, A Rush of Blood to the Head; Tom Waits, Rain Dogs; and Black Flag, Damaged. I mean, this is what I love every week. These are some of the greatest albums ever made, and they didn't even make it past this round.
Yeah.
So now we have some tough choices to make. I'm going to just go ahead and jump in. I get first pick this week. I am going to trade something,
Okay.
and
Cool.
some people are going to shake their head. I feel like I've had to do this a few times where I'm probably going to disappoint some people, but it may make some people happy too. I am I'm actually trading out Elvis Presley,
I
which
knew
means
it.
you could pick this one up.
I knew
I'm
it.
trading
Yep.
out Elvis Presley. You do it, huh?
Yep.
From Elvis in Memphis. Do you know what I'm gonna pick up? Do you wanna guess?
I think you are going to pick up Coldplay, Rush of Blood to the Head.
Gosh, you know me so well. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what I'm doing. So I'm picking up Coldplay to add to my list of The Band, Pearl Jam, and U2. All right.
All right.
Y
Uh,
y
mine's pretty easy. Sorry, Jackie, I love you. I just raved and gave you all this hype, and you are a national treasure, but it's AC/DC's Highway to Hell. I'm
I knew it.
sorry. I, I mean, I have to go with Highway to Hell. That can't not be on my list. So, uh, I'm glad that that got eliminated, and I'm happy to take it.
Well, now the tough part comes in, and this is where, honestly, I haven't even thought this far ahead. I
Oh
knew what
yeah.
I was going to do up to this point, but I really don't have any idea yet, and I've got to figure it out really fast. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in and do mine. So as I mentioned a minute ago, I have YouTube Boy,
Yep.
I have the band, I have Coldplay, A Rush of Blood to the Head, and I have Pearl Jam 10. I'm going to go ahead and just put one up on the pedestal right now, and that's the band. Just no debate.
Yep.
Not going to waste anyone's time with that. It's going to make it really deep into the competition for me. Now I got to pick between Pearl Jam, Coldplay, and U2. And that's a really tough choice because I love the first U2 record, the immediacy of it. I love the second Coldplay record because I don't think it's as good as Parachutes, but it's really, really good. And I love Pearl Jam 10. I'm going to first get rid of Coldplay. They're out.
Cool.
So
Okay.
now it's down to U2 Boy debut record versus Pearl Jam 10 debut record. I'm going Pearl Jam 10. It's so tough for me. I mean, it is so tough. This may be the toughest decision I've made yet, but Pearl Jam 10 for me, maybe part of it is because of the time period. I was at that point in time in my life pretty young when it came out, but it had such an impact on me. So the band and Pearl Jam survive for me and make it to my half of the Vinyl Four.
Okay. Yeah, I get you. That's cool. All right, so here's what I have as my initial vinyl for. Here I have the band music from Big Pink. I have LL Cool J's Radio. I have AC/DC's Highway to Hell, and I have Bob Dylan's Bringing It All Back Home. Whew. You know, it's funny. The one I snagged from you, I snagged your Discord, is immediately the one that I'm keeping. So I'm dispel the mystery here. AC/DC's Highway to Hell is definitely staying on my list. This is challenging, man, because I think all three of these albums are all on par with one another, and I know that's crazy. The band LL Cool J and Bob Dylan. I'm just going with my heart here. I'm gonna keep the band in there. I just got to keep them. I love LL. I'll probably listen to the LL Cool J. I've probably listened to that in my lifetime far more times than I have the band, but the band just kind of fits my mood these days a little bit more. That's a great album. It really is. It's not as perfect. That's not far. It's not perfect like the self-titled album, but it's pretty darn good. So, yep, the band, music from Big Pink, and AC/DC's Highway to Hell.
All right. So we have the band, Pearl Jam, and AC/DC. That's
Yeah.
pretty solid.
I mean, I don't have any complaints with any of those. I think we did pretty well.
We did pretty well. We're saying goodbye to some really good records, but for those who've never listened before, this is what we do every week, and it's challenging, it's fun, it can be gut wrenching because some of these are. It was I was explaining this to someone the other day. I said, if you list out your 10 favorite records of all time, you're just having a conversation. You and I, plenty of people we know, we could just rattle them off, right? Top 10, Pet Sounds, Abbey Road, all these things, Revolver,
Yep.
but that's different from having to pick between sometimes, and that's what we're doing here. We're having to pick, and as we get deeper into this competition, when we start bringing together all these vinyl fours from each episode, that's what's going to happen. You're going to eventually have to make a choice between two of your favorite records of all time, and that's the difference, and that's what makes it fun and challenging.
Yeah, choosing between so far the toughest choice, bar none, is U2 Boy versus Pearl Jam 10. It's not even close to me. That's I could have gone either way on that. And Pearl Jam was my band. Like I said, during that era, there was nobody close to them. Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice, I loved all of them, but Pearl Jam was my band. So and 10 is the album. So that's tough. But man, boy. So anyway, yeah, it's gonna get tricky. Just saying.
It's going to get, yeah, it's going to get tough. Every week is tough. All right, before we wrap up here, we forgot to do this last week. We're going to do two more things. One, we're going to talk about two records that we believe should be in the top 500 that are not.
Yep.
And then I'll just quickly rattle off the matchups for next week. So you
Cool.
want to go first with your two records? I know you got a whole list of them, so I'm putting you on the spot, but
Oh yeah, for sure. Should be in for sure. Okay. Well, here we go. And I have this for round 5, but we skipped round 7. So round 6 here. Here are my two albums. Are we doing two at once, or are we going to go back and forth? I do one, you do one.
you go ahead and do your two, and then I'll do my two.
Cool. Okay. Well, appreciate that. First one, I'm just going to be upfront about this. It was the album that made me love this band. Now, I really liked their previous two albums a lot. I loved AM. I loved being there. But Summer Teeth is a perfect pop, alternative pop. I don't know how to even categorize it because it still has some of the alt country vibes to it, but it's a total shift for them. Wilco is just an amazing band, and I feel like that was them really starting to branch out outside of Americana. Because I feel like if they would have stayed just an Americana band, there's only so much they could have done with it. And this was the natural progression to me. And it turned a lot of people off. But over time, I think a lot of those people have come back and gone, damn, like this is perfect. So yeah, Summer Teeth for sure. It's my favorite Wilco album. And
Unbelievable.
then I love Tom Petty, and I was shocked. Now I love his stuff with the Heartbreakers, but he has some amazing solo albums just on his own. And Wildflowers, Rick Rubin, I think it might be Rick Rubin's best work.
It's not in the 500.
It's
I
not.
didn't even. I
It's not the
Wow,
500. Yeah, he
that's
only has
crazy.
two. I think "Damn the Torpedoes," and I'm trying to think of the other album that's on there. Maybe "Full Moon Fever." I'd have to go back and look at the list, but yeah, I was shocked. And like I said, this to me was the perfect partnership. I don't love all of what Rick Rubin does, but when he does it right, when he does something like Cults Electric and gives them exactly the sound they want, and he gave Tom Petty exactly what he want, that album is just glorious. I mean, you don't know how it feels as more of a rocker, but then, it's good to be king. I mean, there's just even the songs that people don't know that didn't get radio play. It's just the whole album to me is so blissful. It sounds like what you would the perfect environment would be just in a field full of wildflowers. Listen to this album. I mean, it's perfectly titled. Uh, Tom nailed it on this album. It's just glorious. And I think a lot of people have come to find that as their favorite Tom Petty albums. I was shocked that it isn't as highly regarded as some of his earlier stuff because it's up there with some of his best work, if not his best album. So, yeah. Wilco Summerteeth and Tom Petty's Wildflowers.
Oh, those are good ones. All right. I'm going 80s style on both of mine. The first one I'm going to mention sold 20 million records worldwide. It
Okay.
had, I believe, 6 singles. And I'm just going to rattle these off and then you're going to know the name of the record. Most people will that are familiar with this band. Need You Tonight, New Sensation,
Oh my
Devil
goodness.
Inside, Never Tear Us Apart, Kick, and Mystify. All 6 of those were singles. All 6 were huge hits. And that's the band In Excess. The album is Kick.
How on earth is that not on the list?
I mean, it is that may be one of the most it's such an incredible album. And you and I both love In Excess. And they had they had gone through maybe the beginning more of almost a post-punk type sound. Then they got into they were really one of the original kind of indie alt rock bands in the early 80s
Yep.
with some of their early records. But then Kick comes along and that's their Def Leppard Pyromania, if you will. It's their record or their AC/DC Back in Black. That's the record where it all came together. Every single song sounds like a hit
Yep.
because there are songs that I didn't mention that are even as good as those. It's just an incredible record, but they really channeled their whole R&B influences. There's a lot of horns in that album.
Yep.
I love that record so much.
I do too. Yep.
The
Shocker.
other one for me, shocker. The other one for me, and this is a love or hate, but honestly, if you hate this record, shame on you because it is also one of the best records of the 80s, and that's Bryan Adams, Reckless.
Excellent
It
album.
just unbelievable. I mean, you think about Summer of '69 is such an iconic song record, but and then Heaven, which probably my least favorite song on the album, but Kids Wanna Rock, Run to You, the duet that she did with Tina Turner, that he
Yep.
did with Tina Turner.
Yep.
It's just from start to finish, Reckless, and it sort of straddles the line. It's not hard rock, but it's not mellow pop either. Other than the song Heaven, the rest of that album it's a rocking album,
It
and
it
I,
is.
I love me some Bryan Adams.
Kevin and I have had this conversation about that style of rock just doesn't exist anymore. People just don't write that just straightforward singer-songwriter rock. It just you don't hear it. You don't hear it on radio for sure. Um, it's funny. My wife was going to the library just to kind of get outside of her office space here and just get a different environment. And she comes downstairs and what is playing but Heaven. And she goes, "What the?" And she goes, "I'm confused." And I said, "Of course, this would be the song that would be
Yeah.
playing when you come down." And I said, "This album is incredible." And she goes, "Okay." And so, literally 2 days later, she's in the car coming back from Atlanta, and she sends me a screenshot, and it's Bryan Adams' "Heaven," and it says, "Your favorite song." So I had to send it to Kevin, and I go, "See what happens? Timing is everything." And we just both laughed out loud. Uh, that album rocks. It totally rocks. I went back and listened to that. I went back and listened to John Mellencamp's John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yeah.
Uh, they don't write albums like that anymore. You just don't
No.
hear singer-songwriters putting out just straightforward rock and roll like that anymore. And it's a shame because that stuff isn't highly regarded. It should be. That whole album, Reckless, could be a greatest hits.
Absolutely could be. Every song on that record could have been, and honestly, I wanna say I listened to album rock back in those days, and almost every song on that album got airplay. It
Yeah.
was in rotation at some point. It was that good.
Yep.
I've got another one coming up in a couple weeks. It's along the same lines in the same time frame. I'm not going to say what it is, but you're going to also 100% agree. And it's hard to believe it's not in the top 500. Okay. I'm going to go through our matchups really quickly for next week.
Okay.
Next week, you go first. So I'll go through your 4 matchups first, and then I'll give mine. Your matchups next week. Number 120, the Birds, Sweetheart of the Rodeo, versus, oh boy, 313, Jane's Addiction, Nothing Shocking.
Oh my
I
gosh.
I feel a pickup. I feel a redemption round right there because I will pick up one of those two. Just saying. All right.
100%. Yep.
Next for you is number 86, Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA, versus number 132, Various Artists, Saturday Night Fever, the original soundtrack.
Yep.
Wow. Then you have matchup number 3, number 29, Led Zeppelin, the first Led Zeppelin 1, versus number 60, Captain Beefheart and his Magic Band Trout Mask Replica. Y'all, if you want to do some advanced research on these, go listen to Trout Mask Replica. I'm not going to say anything, Craig.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. See how far you get. All right, your last matchup, number 80, John Lennon, Imagine, versus number 158, Elton John, Captain Fantastic, and the Brown Dirt Cowboy. My matchups for next week, number 293, Bob Dylan and the Band, The Basement Tapes. Man, the band just keep popping up.
Yep.
Versus
and
number
Bob Dylan.
430, Brian Eno. Yeah, and Bob Dylan. Yeah. Versus number 430, Brian Eno, Another Green World.
Yep.
My next matchup, I've heard of this band before, The Byrds, number 127, Younger Than Yesterday, versus 196, Various Artists, Nuggets, Original Artifacts from the First Psychedelic Era.
Oof.
All right. Yeah. Then my next matchup, number 40, Love Forever Changes, versus 231, Bonnie Raitt, Nick of Time. And then my last matchup is number 392, Jackson Brown, The Pretender, versus 403, Nas, Illmatic.
Yep.
There you go.
Some tricky there's some tricky matchups there. There's some interesting ones for sure. But yeah.
I can't wait. I'm going to do some research this week because there's a few of those that I got to go back and really evaluate. I know all of those, but a couple of them I'm on the fence about. I'm gonna have to reevaluate.
Mine are pretty easy. Except for that first one. That first one. The first one's impossible. But I feel good because if I eliminate one, you're gonna grab it. So
well, and you get to go first next week in the redemption round, so you could just pick up one of your own. I'm just saying, I don't want you to do that because that could screw things up for me, but you do get first choice next week. So
that's true.
All right. We are finished with another round of Vinyl 4. That was the 6th round. So excited. Looking forward to next week. And thank everyone. If you want to, hit us up, email us, vinylfourpodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
Also started the Instagram account. I hopefully will start actually adding content in the next week or so that eventually when we get on this episode, I'll be saying, hey, check out all of the new content that putting out there about Vinyl 4. But the Instagram account is out there, Vinyl 4 Podcast. Follow it. Get ready because eventually we will start putting stuff out there and you'll get the weekly updates.
Yep.
We look forward to next week. Thanks everyone for joining.
Yeah. Thanks so much.